We support what the science actually says. Accepting and affirming trans people has a positive impact on their health. Trust the science, support trans health, which is really interesting because in DNA, it shows that there's only two sexes, two genders, male and female.
I just want to ask you, what does E mean as a pronoun? It's E.
To be honest, I'm not sure.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss future breakdowns of these wild congressional hearings. And if you enjoyed today's video, smash that like button and drop a comment down below with your thoughts, because trust me, you're going to want to weigh in on this one. So 23andMe, the DNA testing company, you know, the one that's supposed to be about science, ancestry, genetics, just got grilled in Congress by Marjorie Greene and Brandon Gill. And let me tell you, this was not a good day for the company's leadership. Now, Brandon Gill, he took things in a slightly different direction, but it was just as devastating. So he pulled up some old 23andMe posts where the company promoted a laundry list of pronouns.
It's really about how individuals can learn about their own genetic information.
But DNA and the study of it is science. Is that correct?
She didn't know.
It's about learning about their family, their ancestry,
Here's a company claiming that
and their health risks.
Okay, so it's science.
And suicide risk.
Now,
their own
in 2001, you reposted
it's all performance.
Dr. Raven the Science.
The chair recognizes Ms. Greene of Georgia for 5 minutes for questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Wojcicki, sorry, apologize. You co-founded 23andMe in 2006 and took the company public in 2021. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And this is all about DNA, which is we would call science. Is that right?
It was really about how individuals can learn about their own genetic information.
But DNA and the study of it is science. Is that correct?
It's about learning about their family, their ancestry, science, and their health risks.
Okay, so it's science. Now, in 2001, you reposted Dr. Raven the Science Maven, who reposted my post of a sign that I kept outside of my office that said there are two genders, male and female, trust the science. And the attack on this, which you reposted, so you must have agreed with them, was as a scientist with a transgender parent, I need you to sit down. You don't know the science or the history. You trust the science. Science draws a difference between sex at birth and gender identity. The systematic incidentalization of gender is a product of colonization. What does colonization have to do with gender?
I haven't seen that in a long time. I don't.
You reposted it, though, so you must have known something about it. Also, 23andMe, the company that you led at the time, or that you're still there and you're trying to buy, opponents of trans rights use the phrase, trust the science, to make false claims about sex and gender. We support what the science actually says. Accepting and affirming trans people has a positive impact on their health. Trust the science, support trans health, which is really interesting because in DNA, it shows that there's only two sexes, two genders, male and female, and that should be something that you're you're very tied into that since you founded the company, co-founded the company, took it public, and you want to buy it again. So it's baffling that 23andMe, a company that specializes in DNA and people's very personal information and how God has designed human beings, would support and continue to support the trans ideology that this is something that can be changed. Have you ever seen any DNA or know of DNA that a biological male can give birth to a baby?
No.
No. So this is something that we know cannot be changed. That's scientific. That's the design of our DNA. And I don't understand, and I think most people don't understand, why 23andMe would take such a hard left political position supporting trans rights. And here's what's the really weird part about it, is it says this is one of the many reasons why we've been working to improve our products for trans and non-binary customers. I thought your product is helping people understand their DNA, linking themselves with family trees. So I can't comprehend what kind of product 23andMe could give to people who identify themselves in some other way. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Another thing that's hard to understand is, the beauty of DNA is it's the beautiful design. It's God's design down to the finest detail, a granular level of how we're made, but it also helps people link with their family trees. Yet this is a letter that you put out after the SCOTUS ruling overturning Roe versus Wade, and you put out a letter very much against the ruling that the right should go back to the states. And you clearly put your own personal belief in here on the 23andMe social media that you are very much for the killing of the unborn, the killing of babies, which completely would destroy what your company is all about. How can we study DNA? How can we study people's lineage if one of the very co-founders and who wants to own the company again supports the murder of the unborn, the murder of God's design, and the murder of God's creation, which we can link it to DNA. And Mr. Chairman, I'm running out of time, but I think that's 100% against the science, and I think it's 100% against God. I yield back.
Gill from Texas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for holding this hearing on a very important topic, which is data privacy. But I've got a couple other things that I want to talk about while we're here related to this. Miss Wojcinski, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, Wojcicki.
Wojcicki. Okay. Thank you for being here and taking the time. 23andMe has really over the past few years gone out of its way to show how woke it is. And one of the things that it's been promoting, amongst many others, is a variety of different pronouns. Here's a tweet that you guys put out in June of 2021. I just want to ask you, what does E mean as a pronoun? It's E.
To be honest, I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you know what M means as a pronoun?
I'm also not sure.
Okay. Don't you think it's important to know what these mean? You guys are in this post. You wrote, or somebody on your comms team wrote, that using the correct pronouns impacts trans people's health, can reduce the risk of depression and suicide. That's a pretty serious claim. It seems like if you're going to demand people use these pronouns, you would know what they mean, right?
Mm-hmm. I delegate. 23andMe had a lot of people. We had 6,
right.
7.
You were CEO though, right?
I was CEO, but it doesn't mean I can oversee every single post.
Well, this is a very, very politically charged post that you guys put out. I would think that you would have a view on that. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us what is the difference between Z and Z? One of them is ZE and one is XE.
I'm not up to speed on that.
Okay. Does it concern you that not understanding this might increase the risk of depression and suicide amongst trans people?
I support my research team that felt that it's important for us to be inclusive of everybody, and it was very much grounded.
I agree, but it doesn't seem very inclusive if you don't know what they mean, right?
I respect the social team and the research team that put that post together.
Mm-hmm. But you don't know what any of these pronouns mean, but you guys are promoting it.
I assume it's different ways people like to be referred to.
What about here, HIR? What does that mean?
I don't know either.
What about fair, FAER?
Again.
You'd agree these are pretty unusual things, wouldn't you?
I think they represent a lot of the diversity in this country. Okay.
Well, I'm trying to understand the diversity, and I'm asking you what they mean. I'll give you one more chance. Do you know what Z here, Z, Zim, fair, EM mean?
I do not.
Okay. Does that concern you that you don't know it? According to your own post here, understanding these and using the correct pronouns would improve your product for trans and non-binary people. It seems like this is directly related to the product.
Again, it was the team, the social team and the research team that felt strongly around putting.
Well, you were CEO, so you can't pawn off responsibility to somebody else here. What about bathroom access? On 23andMe's website, I've got it up here on my phone. There's a 23andMe blog, and there's a little subheading about bathroom access. Is it still 23andMe's official position that men should be using women's restrooms?
I'm not at 23andMe anymore.
Okay. Was it while you were at 23andMe?
I think we had non-gendered bathrooms as well.
Well, that's not what this is referring to. This is referring to laws that seek to force, in your own words, force trans individuals to use a restroom that does not correspond to their gender identity. Is it, while you were there, was it 23andMe's position that men should be using women's restrooms?
I think our position was just to make sure that we're applicable to laws.
That this isn't in reference. This is actually against laws that would stop people from using the wrong restroom.
Yeah.
So this is actually against laws.
I haven't seen. I don't have that post in front of me, so I can't comment specifically.
Was it 23andMe's position while you were there that children should be transed? Because that's on this website as well.
I don't know specifically what you're referring to.
I can read you a little bit about it. Supports gender-affirming health care, such as hormones in surgery for trans youth.
Mm-hmm. I think 23andMe referred specifically some of the pediatric guidelines.
Sounds to me like you took a genetics company, which you built, and congratulations for doing that, and turned it into a woke social justice organization. You want to run away from that now. Doesn't sound like you even knew what you were talking about at the time. You don't know what any of these pronouns mean. And now realize that this is politically not very popular. Says a lot about where your convictions were and what you meant here. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So at the end of the day, this whole exchange is about more than just one company. It's about whether science is going to mean something or whether it's going to get hijacked by activists and corporations who just want to score political points. Think about it, 23andMe was literally founded on the promise of using genetics to help people understand who they are, where they come from, and what health risks they might face. That's useful. That's powerful. That's what science is supposed to do. But somewhere along the way, they traded that mission in for hashtags, pronoun campaigns, and social media activism that doesn't even line up with their own research. And that's the bigger problem here. When companies that are supposed to deal in hard data start bending the truth to fit political narratives, we all lose. Because if you can't trust a DNA company to tell you the truth about chromosomes, how can you trust them with your most personal genetic information? Marjorie Taylor Greene hit it right on the head when she tied this back to God's design. DNA isn't random, it's the very blueprint of human life, and whether you're a believer or not, the reality is that it's fixed. You can't just identify your way out of your chromosomes. That's why her line of questioning landed so hard. She forced the exec to admit basic truths that cut straight through the ideology. And Brandon Gill? He exposed the emptiness of the company's posturing. If even the CEO doesn't know what half the pronouns they're promoting mean, then what does that say about their credibility? So it's all about politics, not about helping customers. That's why this hearing was so important. It actually pulled the curtain back and showed Americans exactly what's going on inside these supposedly scientific companies. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to, hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss my next one. We've got a lot more hearings and testimonies to cover, and trust me, you're not going to want to miss what's coming.